Hello and welcome to another episode of Techfanaticofficial cryptocurrency series, your honest guide to the Cryptoverse. So today I'm going to talk about actually Timeraiders. It's a game that I've been following up and I'm actually very close with the team and I really wanted to talk about them before they go on launch. I'm going to shuffle between different slides for this one just to make sure I give you the maximum exposure and information to the game. Now, the story for this project is more of a fast-paced shooting game, basically. And then the story is in 2227, so in 200 years from now, they have like a cyberpunk cities, and it's more on regulation between different groups. And because they want to go between different worlds, they basically start having a black market. You can buy and sell everything, and they start selling portals. And this portal gives you a ability to go back in time, get loots from the past, basically, to make money. So the first one is going back to the World War II, and you can change the history with Nazis when they invaded London. And it has even further down the track, older times. And that's why it's called Timeraiders, because they're raiding the time. And they don't know who they meet, what they meet, but they might land in a random time period, basically in the portal. And that's pretty interesting because we don't have that sort of time traveling concept for this sort of projects. And in terms of the storyline, you basically go even through prehistoric times. So it's not only a World War period. Now the game is more of a fast-paced shooting and play-to-earn sort of game. You go through times, you fight with enemies, you take the resources and then come back into your own time. And then you can even craft them and sold them in, I guess, as a new item when you craft them to something else. When you're not fighting, you can spend the time in the hub with other players and, improve your characters or even participate in the black market. And in the game, everything is going to be more of an NFT. You can trade them with the token, which is XPND or Expendium, the native token utility that they have in the game. So it's a really cool concept. Now, as you know, I always call the unique selling points, and now I'm going to say what makes it different. So for me, one of the factors that makes this game different is they have developers from Utopian Game Labs, which I'm going to talk about more, and they've got over 20 years of experience in mainstream gaming, and they've got successful launches previously in gaming, not in blockchain, but outside blockchain. For example, they did the Die Hard trilogy, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and they did a lot of gaming basically for console as well as PC. The other concept, as I mentioned, is that time traveling concept. We don't have this concept in other projects, as far as I know, as a whole game. Maybe there's an NFT, but not the whole game and NFT concept, play to earn. And that ability to use time to go through different times and location. And this gives you advantage when you're battling with other people and you can get some loot access. The in-game economy also makes it more attractive because you have the NFTs, you have the tokens, and basically you can keep the players coming back to the game because you have new levels. It's not a repetitive game that, there's just a mechanism to make money and sell it in the market. And the game is going to continue to expand because they're going to introduce new time periods. And it's going to put the creation and ownership in the hands of you as players as we go through the roadmap. In terms of the NFT, some of the examples of NFTs, if you zoom in here, they have like the founders NFT. So that's the naked Churchill, for example, in World War II. They've got the Spitfire. They've got some of the future level treasure maps. They've got the T-Rex egg, which is, older period time, and they are quite old. Very rare item. These are basically some NFTs that gives you the utility in the game, different levels. You imagine having the access to the different time period and playing that level in comparison to others. So these are some of the unique selling points of the project. In terms of the gameplay, I can quickly show you a demo. They've got other things happening at the moment, but this is an in-game footage, and I'll put the link to the website as well that you can go and check it out. But basically, this is the time period that they have. You can travel between different periods. This is the graphic that they have. It sort of reminds me of some games in the past, like Commandos or Diablo, but in a much better graphic situation. And of course, having the play to earn mechanism. They have this mission concept as well. And this was actually why I got attracted to it, because I just haven't seen this sort of gaming, especially in blockchain. And if this game wasn't even on blockchain, I would play it. So they have brought a game that's appealing to a general gaming community. And it's not just a game that's another play to earn game. And I have to, talk about it, how the economics is very, sexy for the investors. So I really like the part that they have an experienced team bringing a game proof of concept into the real life of the blockchain environment. So that's more about the project and about the game, which you can read in the website as well, about the storyline. You can see the game trailers, you can see the special access key and collectibles that they have on the NFTs. And also you can have access to the gallery in the website to see some of the image. There will be a beta coming out soon as well. Now, in terms of the roadmap, that's something I need to cover for you before I can cover the token utility. So the roadmap, what they've got is they did the finalization. So the game has been going for a long time. Even if you go to the YouTube channel, you can see that the game part has been more than a year. But in terms of the blockchain part, so the design is done in Q4. They did the game development, started the community on Discord, Twitter and Telegram. They did the NFT minting. They had an allocation mining event last month on Launchpool. They gonna have an IDO on Gamifi and other launchpads, which I'm gonna mention in the end. They have the pre-game release of the limited edition of the games. They're gonna have all these in-game NFTs released in the first quarter. They're gonna have the new skins and characters coming out, and they're gonna have the staking available in Q1. In Q2, they're gonna have more of public release of the multiplayer feature. And also there's going to be 4 to 6 new levels released, because the Q1 only have 3 levels that you can play. And here you have 4 to 6 more. In Q3, they're going to have another 4 to 6 levels. So they're going to keep adding expansion to the game, and they're going to have more focus on the multiplayer sections. In Q4, they're going to have even more staking quests, and they're going to have seasonal gameplay and NFT updates. And then when you go to 2023, it's going to be more player designed and player generated levels. So you can also have a part in this and also participate in the economy of the token. Now, the website contains all the key information here on what you can do in terms of the utility, but I'm going to also show a slide in terms of the pricing. But let's go to the utility. So in terms of the XPND token, how you can earn is you can find the loots and sell them, as I mentioned, by time traveling, or make artifacts or sell commodities. You can go to the black market factories and sell the produce there. You can get daily rewards and special events and partnerships that you can make in the game and outside the game as a community member. You have to do quests as well if you're a pro gamer, and winning the quest, as you know, gives you the top prize. And the prize is the token, sometimes NFT. The staking is the investor way to get more XPND tokens. And then you can purchase the token also through the exchange, like any other coin. But in terms of the in-game utility, the token is used for buying items, upgrading your weapons, upgrading characters and companions, and also for the staking. So the utility is pretty good and standard. And this is what you expect for a play to earn game. So in terms of the tokenomics, we have the ticker is XPND. It's going to be on Binance chain initially, at least. Total supply is 1 billion token. Fully diluted value for public sale participants. So day one is going to be $22 million, which is a reasonable valuation for gaming. And at the token generation event, the market cap is going to be, it might change a bit because they're still doing some investors coming in. Let's say between 650 to 680,000. So high $600,000 mark. Initial circulation is going to be 29 million tokens, so it's going to be pretty small. And in terms of the investor rounds, they had the seed round at 0.005. They've had the strategic round at 0.014. They had the private round at 0.015 and private 2 in 0.018. So the seed is a little bit more expensive than the future rounds, which is understandable. The seed investors, I think probably Launchpool, Alphabet, they help them with the marketing and other things. So that's the seed round. It is a bit high, to be fair, but other rounds are really well adjusted. So they've got the strategic, private 1, private 2, public within the same range. So this is only less than, I don't know, few percent different between private 1 and strategic, and private 2 also, and public is a bit higher, but still not too steep. Now, in terms of the vesting for seed is the strictest, 5% at TGE. Then they've got 3 months cliff, and then linear vesting for 19 months. So they gotta be with the project for 24 months, basically, at least as a seed investor. As a strategic investor, you're expected to be with the project for 5% at TGE, 3 months cliff, linear for 15 months. So you're expected to be with the project for 18 months. Private 1 year, private 2, 1 year, so 15 months. Private 2 is 1 year, and public is gonna be 6 months. So as you can see, between 6 months to 24 months, depending on the level you're at. For staking rewards, 10% is going to be for the tokenomics, 10% is for the gameplay, 25% is operations, and that's a 24-month strategy. The game labs or the team, so Utopian Game Labs is the studio behind it, they're going to have 0 on TG, 6 months cliff, and then 50 months. So you're looking at 5 to 6 years, very long term. And advisors is going to be 0 at TGE, 1 month cliff, and then you've got vesting for 10 months. So that's also pretty good. The team is also 0 at TGE, and then they're going to have a cliff and the vesting for 20 months, which is also a fair schedule. So the investors here are going to get their tokens, and they're not going to be impacted by the team or advisors or the game labs, which is the more of a tech side, I guess, and dev behind it, because they have to, of course, have the income generation so that they can continue developing the levels in the game. So that's in terms of the tokenomics and the allocation they've got for the game. Now, in terms of the backers and VCs, you can see Launchpool is the main one. So Launchpool, if you go to their website, they're like a egalitarian investment platform where you can hold your tokens of Launchpool and participate in sales, depending on allocation that you've got through the mining. And they've incubated some projects like Polka Cypher, Realm, Unizen. Realm was a really good one. And they do work with a lot of projects, and they're now recently moved to the gaming space. Before moving to that, I would like to also talk a bit more about the team behind it. So if you go back to this pack, we can see the team has experience previously in many gaming projects, and they have partnerships previously with Microsoft, with the Big Fish Game Studios, with LucasArts Film, EA Sports, Steam, BBC, Amazon. So they partnered up to develop some of these games that you see here, or the ones I've mentioned. And the team itself from the studio, Simon Bailey, he's the studio head. He's got experience in 30 plus game, and now he's coming to the blockchain industry. So he's the man behind a lot of the games previously by the Utopian Lab Studios, and you can find him basically on LinkedIn to verify the information. Anthony is the executive director, and he was also involved with the Utopian Game Labs. Matt is the lead designer and been working on the gaming industry since 1994. So all those cool games for some of us who are maybe in our 30s, probably people like Matt developed them. And then he moved to do some original titles for the V game. Designer Luke as well, someone who's experienced in this space, both blockchain and non-blockchain. And you can check the entire team. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they've worked with many different projects, many different gaming places. And right now they've collected this team for this project, which is a really good scenario. So they're actually experienced gaming people and not just blockchain experienced people. And then they've also covered themselves with bringing people who are advising them for gaming and for blockchain. So they've got people like Chris Smith from the big Esports Australia. So if you're in Australia, you probably know this project. So he's going to give them advisory on that go to market for the esports, getting more players to play the game. They've got Mike Quintana, which I've seen him in a few projects. He's more of an advisor for the technology side. They've got Tim, who's also leading a lot of mobile game publishing. They've got Timothy Aaron, so he's more of a lawyer in the blockchain space. I've seen him again in a few projects. Liam is the CEO of Alphabet, and I think they work closely as well with Ken. He's a cybersecurity guy like myself, and he's gonna help the project in the security aspect. Tim Rainer, he's an entrepreneur in blockchain, and I think he's the CEO of the Polka Cipher. I think there are a few other projects he's at, but I'm not sure about those projects. Now, in terms of the partnerships that they also have, they've got partnerships. So the partnerships also for this project are Big Esports, Unity, Enjin, and Alphabet. These are the bigger ones. So being backed by Enjin is always something I look forward to, because I think they're really good blockchain network for gaming and NFT projects. And it's going to help them with the Jumpstart Net for that. In terms of some of the VCs, they're still in the investing round, so I'm not able to disclose who are the VC backers. Once the investment round continues and once it goes further, I'm able to help you with that information, or I can put an update in my YouTube channel for that. But I can disclose some of the Launchpad partners as we go forward. So again, you can search some of the advisors here. You can verify some of this information. I have no doubt about their capability, because I did deep dive into this project, because I'm being more careful about the whole gaming scene right now in the blockchain. There are too many of them. In terms of the social media, they've got 26,000 followers on Twitter, and they got a very good marketing strategy. They've got basically 4 marketing arms, and they're trying to tackle it in 4 different ways. They've even published that in the white paper, that they're gonna go with the social media. They're gonna have blogs, they're gonna have Discord, and they're gonna have the core community and the NFT fans basically, as well as hopefully some gaming guilds to partner up with them. Going back to the social media, 26,000 people, they are very active on their social media. They've got different contexts. They have meme concepts. They've got, other challenges for people. They've got NFT sale whitelisting, and they also have very active Discord group. I think they've got almost, let's see, to give you an accurate number, 10,000 members already before even they launch, and they've got 12,000 members on their Telegram group. So they've got the coverage they need, and also the YouTube channel for their social media. And remember, they haven't launched yet. Now, in terms of launch, as I mentioned, they had a sale for the earlier rounds on Launchpool for the community. They're going to be on Gamifi as well. They are talking with a few Launchpad partners, so I'm not confirming those, but they're going to launch on Enjinstarter, which is public information. So Enjinstarter, being a great launchpad for gaming projects, is going to have 2 rounds available. So they've got a special round for some of the members, which I'm going to explain how it works, for 0.018 private 2 price, and then they've got the public round at 0.022, so at 2 cents basically for all the public participants. The date might change, so it is showing 24 Feb, but again, right now we are in an uncertain market, so dates might change. So anytime between later this month or early March is when I'm expecting the launch. And that's when they're going to have the NFT sale and the alpha of the game. So they want to go all in to make sure, because some projects launch and then there's 3 months gap between the launch and then when they release all these NFTs or public sales and alpha release. So I think that's why they want to go all in. They want to make sure the players are playing the game, investors have something to do as well. In terms of how you're going to be eligible for Enjinstarter, at the moment, there's 2 ways. So if you're just staking, because they have now staking pool at staking.enjinstarter.com, you just put the staking, and basically you can go ahead and depending on the allocations that you have, minimum is 25,000 up to 500,000 tokens. You get an allocation in the guaranteed allocation round, and then it's moving to a first come first serve round. Yeah. Now with the other aspect, this is for a new methodology they're bringing in. So they've got availability for people to stake for 999 days, 3 years basically, of Enjinstarter token, and they have multiverse club. So you either invest, to buy $500,000 Enjinstarter at the price that they have between now 3 to 4 cents of Enjinstarter, to be participating in the multiverse club with allocation, with no cooldown for some sales, and also for access to these special deals, or you have to have less tokens and stake it in 999 days. Even if you're multiverse, you still have to stake, but you don't have to stake in the longest period. So that's the advantage of being in the multiverse club. For the other sale, which is the all gap tier, basically anyone who's staking and has enough token to at least meet the minimum requirements for one of the tiers, they're all good to go and they can invest. In terms of the market sentiment, look, the market keeps changing. 1 week is good, 1 week is not. Like today, we had a bit of we had a bit of a downturn in the market, and prices went back down because we already went to like Ethereum crossed $3,000 and the market went all the way back to 2 trillion, but it's back down now to 1.8. It is higher than when it was late January, but it is a bit uncertain. But again, that's why I like GameFi and play to earn. A lot of them will not be successful, being honest and full disclosure, but those who attract the users and are successful, regardless of the market sentiment, they're gonna do well. And I'm really bullish on this project because, as I mentioned, they've got the gaming component right. The game is really attractive. I would play this game even if I wasn't investing in it. So because of that, because it's not just some tokenomics designed for play to earn, I'm really bullish on it. And again, the TGE is gonna be in March, not sure early or mid-March, the token generation event. So make sure you follow the news that I will put in my channel, in my social media, and make sure you like and subscribe this video. And if you have any questions or comments, please make sure to ask me and I'll cover more detail for you in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you have a good day and see you next time.